The second half of our 2025 Winter AD podcast start today, and we're ready to talk all things Princeton Vikings with AD Joe Roberts. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
Rob, it's been fantastic. It's great to be back. It's great to try to get back into some normalcy. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Same as well. It seems like we haven't talked in months, but it's only been a few weeks. I look out my window and I see I don't know, about 6 feet of snow packed up in the parking lot. But I did hear about rain at the end of the week, so rain sounds good. Good Lord.
No, listen, I will take the snow over cold rain. I
Uh,
will take the snow over the cold rain.
I'll
Now, if
give
it's
you
going to
that.
be I went for a walk yesterday morning. I hadn't been on the road since Sunday ago. And I got out yesterday and was taking my morning walk, and it felt like an early spring. It felt like because you heard some birds chirp in the
Yep.
sun. It was cold. It felt like a late February, early March day.
The
And then
sun
you
was
see
out.
what's coming Tuesday.
Yes.
It's like, oh man, but yeah, that's winter for you.
Amen.
That's winter.
Let's get the fans up to speed on where things are going. Boys basketball is off to a great start in GMC play. Currently 8-4, with a couple big games this week. Their next game is tomorrow at Sycamore. I know the students at Sycamore have come out to support the Aviators, so it'll be a tough road GMC game. Let's talk about boys basketball first.
Yeah, Rob, it's been a great first half. I always chop the season up into thirds, I guess. So the first third has been really, really good for us. We have seen some tremendous opponents and some tremendous competition, and the kids have really played well. Coach Wyatt's done an amazing job of coaching them and preparing them. And despite sometimes the result on the board, when you play the level of competition that you're playing and the kids are just continuing to compete, we're
Sure.
getting ready for that final third of the season. And so then we come back from break and we're in the second third right now. And we've had three really great league wins with Hamilton, Mason, and Oak Hills. Despite the weather challenges that we went through this past week, it was still a really good result to get us going. And then, like you said, if you look at the records on GMCsports.com and you see that there's a current three-way tie because of that East Fairfield game this past week, you know how important this Tuesday is
Whew.
leading into Friday night here at Princeton. And we're going to have the girls and the boys in a beautiful, great doubleheader. So we need great weather. We don't need any of that rain to turn into ice. We need great weather. It's going to be a great environment as we have Fairfield here. But you can't look at Friday until you get to Tuesday. So he's been scouting and prepping for Tuesday night. We're going to head over to Sycamore, which is always like you said, it's a tough game because it's in a different environment. The kids are loud. They're engaged in it. They know it's Princeton. And so looking forward to that game Tuesday night, but then getting us ready for Friday.
How have the crowds been, either home and road, for boys basketball this year, Joe? Have they been steady?
Some of it's been contingent on where we are, but they have. I love playing both together. I love having the girls and the boys together because it maximizes our fan base. It maximizes our students to be able to hit both games and be there. And so I love when we do that. And we did that with Mason. And obviously it was Mason to start the year, but it was a great crowd for Mason. And then when we had Mason back here again, um, it was a snow day. So that killed us,
Sure.
because people just don't get out. But, Oak Hills was really a good, well attended game. Hamilton was good. The students, it just comes and goes. It depends on what's going on in the schedule. But the beauty of Princeton is we have so much other stuff that goes on at the same time. So people will go and check out a few minutes of swimming, and then they'll come into the basketball game, or they'll go to an academic program, and then they come into the basketball game. So we have a lot of activity going on, a lot of movement, just like most of the high schools do in this area. And so it really does help. But looking forward to a great crowd this week at home with Fairfield.
Sounds great. Good luck to the boys this week in a big GMC week for them. Let's go to the girls' side. Also, another great start. Uh, I guess, do we call this the halfway point? I mean, I guess we're, with tournament play, I guess we're just past halfway point. Looks like they have a busy week this week as well.
Yeah, and we'll go back just a tad because sometimes, once again, the record doesn't necessarily reflect the outcomes, but it does to a degree. I mean, Coach Davis took those girls to Phoenix, Arizona over the winter break, and they saw some really, really good competition and saw uh, they struggled a little bit out there, but they struggled against top tier teams, and they got a great experience being in Phoenix. And they come back here, and we hosted an event here, and they got a little bit of revenge against Clark County, George Rogers Clark out of Eastern Kentucky, where they had lost to them out in Phoenix. They came back, and we hosted them here in a holiday classic, and we beat them. And then we head down to the Centos Center against East, and really you can say it was the time of the day. You can say what you want. We got outplayed a little bit. The East girls really fundamentally moved the ball much better than we did that day. But we're getting our legs back into it a little bit, and then we turned right back around and played Hamilton, and then they headed to Mason, and it just didn't swing our way. So
Mhm.
the tone's been set. We've got to take care of business. We did get a great, finally got some momentum going Saturday morning or Saturday early afternoon over at Oak Hills, and really saw some great ball movement, saw some great guard play, and getting Callie Fortson the ball down low really helped us a lot. But we've got a tough stretch again. We've got Sycamore over at Sycamore on Wednesday, and then like I said, Friday night with Fairfield. But again, it's leading us up. We're gonna go ahead and earmark that 29th of January, that Wednesday at home with Lakota West, because we're going to need to get that game to
Okay.
get us back into the swing of things, because we've got East one more time. And
Got a
so
chance to
trying to
play.
put ourselves in that top, we're sitting at fourth right now, but trying to put ourselves in that top three, top two spot in the league gets us again in that top four seeding position, if you will. At least
Mm.
it should for the tournament as we go to make that run as well. And people can look at it from a long term perspective, and they can see that we're gonna be right in the thick of it come tournament time. Probably going to get that bye. Probably going to, but you're only going to have to play one at the max 2 games, and you're in the district finals
Right.
because of this new format. So it's going to look a lot different for our teams, especially at Division One. So looking forward to getting ready for that.
Yeah, exciting times. Exciting times on the hardwood for the Vikings. So good luck to the girls as well. Let's go to the smaller hardwood and let's talk bowling.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're on the boys' side and the girls' side both. We're hurting on numbers on the girls' side, and the boys' side we're just hurting with youth. We haven't found that conference win yet. Haven't found that W at all at this point. But what we are doing is we're building a program. Coach Wilson and Coach Simons, they continue to put us in positions. We were at the Baker Bash this past weekend over at Northwest Lanes. Last weekend we were in the Back to School Bash over at Roll House, which Roll House will be our sectional site.
Okay.
Anytime we can get to Roll House Lanes, we're going to get to Roll House Lanes. We're
They
going to
fixed
be
that
in.
up nice, Joe. They've
Yeah,
spent some money in there. It looks
they
nice.
have. They have. And we want to get on that lane. We want to throw over there because we know that we're going to start to dwindle down, and it's going to get to the point, and basically with numbers, we've got to get to the point where we're going to figure out who we're going to shoot out into districts. If we can get a singular person to qualify out, we will. But got some good matches this week. We lost matches last week. We got one in with Middletown up at Eastern Lanes. Then we lost Carlisle because of the weather on
Right.
Friday. So we'll get back into it this week, and then try to pick up some of those matches that we lost. And again, it's about getting the kids opportunities to bowl.
No question.
And that's getting harder and harder to do because of, the availability of bowling alleys. So excited for where we're taking the program. We just got to get us that little confidence boost.
I just love the trajectory of boys and girls high school bowling.
Yeah.
I think it's in the right place, and it's a great winter sport for kids that it gives them a chance to put the Vikings on their chest and get out there and compete. I think it's a life skill that they can hell at our age we can go out and
Yeah.
bowl. It's just great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, let's dive into the pool. Let's talk boys and girls swimming and dive.
Yeah, just keep on growing. And I will, hats off to Coach Mickey Abbas and Coach Reese and Coach Tamaris. And Coach Tamaris has been the long-standing organizer of the event. But we held our invite this past weekend, and
Okay.
between our three coaches and the parents that get involved, we do a tremendous job of just putting on a great event. Both teams finished 10th Um, but both teams saw some really good times. And so it's been a tough winter to get started, but we've got some great events coming up here this week. We host the Southwest Coast Coaches Classic the morning, the prelim session on Saturday and Sunday, and then they'll head to St. X in the evening. So we're going to try to get a couple kids out individually to see if we can get them into the finals of the Coaches Classic this week, and now kind of set the bar for where we are, not only from a league perspective, but where we're going to be when it comes time for sectionals. So, it's good. Don't want to earmark it too early, but it seems like it's here already. We've got senior night coming up relatively
Okay.
quick. I think it's next week. And it's just the winter's moving right along.
I mean, think about it. I'm looking at GMC championships or Feb 1. It's right around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe it?
Yeah. So good luck to them. And let's wrap up this week's show, Joe, with boys and girls wrestling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you look at the GMC site, you can see that, especially on the boys' side, we're in that top 8-10 in almost every weight class. And Coach Powell has done a really good job of putting us in those positions. On the boys' side, I think we had a really good showing this past weekend at Fairfield, although it became a one-day event because of the weather.
Sure.
He really had us going there. But here's the beauty of what we have right now. We this past weekend, had there not been any weather, we would have had a JV team at Elder.
Okay.
We would have had a varsity team at Fairfield, and we had a girls team head up to the, I guess if you want to call it, the perennial girls tournament that was going on at Olentangy Orange. So our numbers are getting back to where they need to be in wrestling, and that's been a huge thing for us. And so super excited about where we're headed, super excited about the fact that we've got enough kids. This weekend we're going to head to Centerville
Okay.
to wrestle in a freshman JV event. Super excited about where that's taking our program and watching us build. We don't have Micah any longer. And so the young kids are stepping into those plays and really helping us. And then when you look at our girls program right now, I believe we've got 9 on the mat. And that's big.
Yes.
I mean, that's a full team for us. That's a full team of girls out there wrestling. So we are looking at the growth of that program and the growth of that sport and what that means for us in the future. So excited about this coming week and the weeks to come as we get ready for the GMC here at the end of this month.
It's got to be telling you that the coaching staff for wrestling is making it a great experience for the wrestlers to have numbers increase because it's a tough
Yeah.
sport. It's a
Oh, it's a
grind.
tough sport.
Yep.
It's a tough sport, and you've got to, I've said it before, it's a cult sport. You've got to be into it. You've got to, wrestling's one of those where you got to be willing to commit every day, all day. You've got to be willing to spend weekends and you got to watch your food intake. You got to watch your hydration. You got to do all those things. But, once you get into it, the kids love it, and it's great to watch them compete.
Yeah. Best of luck to them. That's great. Good for them. Well, best of luck to all the Vikings this week.
Yeah.
Knee deep in GMC play for most of the sports. Coach, thanks for taking the time, and we'll touch base next week. And good luck to the Vikings, and have a great week.
Thanks, Rob. Great seeing you.
See you later.